It was nighttime, and darkness had spread everywhere. There was an eerie chill in the air, as if some invisible entity was roaming around the mansion. At the door of an old deserted mansion stood a little girl, holding an old and worn-out doll in her hands. Her face was expressionless, and her eyes had a strange emptiness to them. This girl was Zainab, who had recently moved to this place with her parents. The mansion had been abandoned for many years, and there were many terrifying stories about it in the village. Zainab loved the doll, and as soon as she stepped into the mansion, she found it in an old cupboard. The doll's eyes were made of glass, but it felt like it was constantly staring at Zainab. One night, when everyone had gone to sleep, Zainab began talking to her doll. She laughed, played, and it seemed like the doll was responding. At first, Zainab's mother thought it was just a child's mischief, but soon strange events began happening. Whispers could be heard from the walls of the mansion, footsteps could be heard at night, and Zainab's behavior started changing. Then, one night, something happened that was enough to send chills down everyone's spine. Zainab's mother heard someone else's voice coming from Zainab's room in the dark. As soon as she began to open the door, it slammed shut by itself. She stepped back in terror. A few moments later, the door slowly creaked open, and the scene inside was horrifying. Zainab's eyes had turned red. Her face wore a devilish smile, and the doll was not in her hands, but floating in the air, as if an invisible force was controlling it. The mother screamed and tried to open the door, but it felt as if someone had locked her feet in place. Zainab slowly raised her head and said, "Mom, why did you scare my friend?" The next morning, when they somehow managed to bring Zainab to her senses, they contacted an elder. The elder explained that the doll belonged to a little girl who had died in an accident many years ago in the same mansion. However, her spirit had been trapped in the doll. Zainab's parents quickly burned the doll, but even after that day, the emptiness remained in Zainab's eyes. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, she would laugh as if someone were standing next to her, and the mansion's walls still echo with the whispers of that little girl. Some people say that anyone who enters this mansion hears the laughter of a little girl at night. Some have even claimed to have seen an old doll walking before their eyes. Do you also hear the sound of a doll laughing at night?